Lovely. So your door mirrors are down by the window controls, and that one is just a manual adjustment as well when you come to that bit. So obviously you want sort of a nice gentle bend in your elbows, same with your knees. Make sure you're happy with where the pedals are and that they're in a comfortable position for you.
Driver's longitude, Scott. Chanel 2 track control. Chanel 2 track control.
Receiving.
Can you use Channel 6, please?
Yeah, no, I think I'm all good.
Happy with
Has
that?
everyone been aware of a tyre change?
Perfect. If you just go brake to throttle a few times, make sure you're happy with where those pedals are, that you can press them both down.
Yeah.
That all looks good. Lovely. In that case, we are good to go. So gear selector is on the right hand side like an indicator stick.
Right,
So
up and down.
No, to
On
pop
there?
it into
Right,
drive,
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
stick
yeah.
there. So pop your foot on the brake, knock that all the way down for drive. We'll go and do a loop round the back of that EQC, and then we'll head straight back out towards the track facilities. How long ago was it that you did the other experience?
I did one last year.
Okay.
I can't remember what that was in. That was in 43.
Okay, yeah.
And then 18, I can't remember what that was. That was the tiny little two-seater.
Okay, yeah. So like the GT or something?
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. So we're going to go straight through the middle here, out the other side towards our track facilities. I'll turn the hazards off once we get a little bit further away from the building.
You've been here long?
Yeah, I've worked here about 6 years. So yeah, a fair while.
Yeah, no, it's quite a while.
So we're going to take the first left that's coming up here, and this is going to take us out towards the track. And then we're going to go straight over at the roundabout, and we'll take this road all the way down to the end, just keeping it about 30 whenever we use this central road that connects all of the different areas. So we are going to head down to our smaller track to start off with. So we always start off there as a bit of a warm-up to get sort of comfortable with how the car feels. It's a very small track, it's tight and twisty and it's quite narrow, but it will give you a good idea of how the car sort of handles and behaves, and it will just be a few laps to get us started. What do you drive normally on the road?
Transit Custom.
Okay, a little different to this then.
Just a little bit.
Perfect. So we're going to be taking a left just before the far glass shelter down at the end there. Looks nice and quiet at the moment, so we'll head straight on. So we're going to be going between the two silver posts that are just before it. So between those, left again, and you can filter straight onto the little track here. Use it as a bit of a warm-up at this stage, so nice and easy to get into the swing of everything. Perfect. Lovely. So we are in a C63S this morning, so it's a 4-litre V8 bi-turbo, 510 horsepower, and it is a rear-wheel drive car. So sort of in comparison to the 43 that you drove last time, obviously more power, but it's also rear-wheel drive as opposed to being 4-wheel drive. Now because of that, we always think about being nice and smooth with all of our controls, but particularly your accelerator pedal, thinking about squeezing and easing that rather than being too aggressive with it, and that will just keep the car nice and balanced for us. That's it, lovely. Good, so following it round for another lap here, just beginning to think about our track positioning, which actually you're doing a very nice job of anyway. So the orange cones are your turn-in markers, so as the nose of the car passes that, you then come across to your apex point on the inside, and then as you begin to accelerate on the exit of the corner, you let your hands naturally unwind back out to the outside of the track. So it's really important we use all of the track that's available to us, and that we keep it really flowing and smooth and fluid. That's it, lovely. So we're going to follow it around for another lap out here, and over the course of this lap we're going to begin to think about looking sort of really far ahead.
Yep.
Sounds really simple, but it's actually something that's very important for any driving, but particularly our track driving. So looking down towards the turn-in marker, but then looking out towards the exit of the corner and really trying to throw that vision nice and far ahead. People have a tendency to sort of look at the end of the bonnet and not much further forwards. So just trying to think about looking through the corner out towards that exit, and actually that helps keep everything nice and smooth. And you can sort of pre-plan rather than each corner sort of feeling like it's a bit of a surprise. So at the end of this lap that we're currently on, I'm going to change the car across from the comfort setting that we're in now to our Sport Plus setting, and we'll just do a lap or two to get used to those differences before we move on. Alright?
Yep, perfect.
Lovely. So as we exit this last corner, I'm going to change that setting across. So that is changing over now. So as you begin to accelerate, you should be able to notice the difference in the note of the exhaust. Yep. But we get various changes across the whole car. So we get a change in the gearing ratio, so the car will begin to rev a little bit higher. We get a tightening of the suspension, so the car will handle better. And you should also find that that throttle response will have increased slightly.
Yep.
Which is another reason for us putting so much emphasis on being nice and smooth with that pedal. Lovely, good. So we'll just do one more lap out here, and then we will hop off and go and look at something a little bit different. Was the experience a present?
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Lovely.
Yeah, no, I've spent most of my life car racing, so...
Okay, nice. Excellent, lovely. Feeling quite happy with the car at this point?
This is one of the better ones, I think.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. I love these cars, they're great. It's a bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing as well,
Yeah,
which is always nice. So we'll follow it around to the glass shelf, so we're going to hop off over there and we will head out to find the dynamic area.
Yeah, the main thing I really want to try and do today is the
wet circle.
The wet circle.
Yeah.
That is what everyone's told me to do.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we'll do. Yeah, I'll make sure we've got a good chunk of time out there. We'll take a right here when you're ready. Next up, we will go to our dynamic area. So where that silver C-Class is about to turn left, we're also going to turn left there through those cones.
Yep.
And then we're going to go hard left like they are, and we're going to line up in one of these lanes facing towards us. So we'll go into lane 1 behind the car that's on its own, and we'll come to a stop. And we're going to do a few different exercises over here.
I won't scare you on this, I promise you, because I will not brake late.
No, that's fine. Perfect. So those two cars will go first anyway. In theory they were here first, but we'll have a look. They'll definitely go first. First up, we're going to do a harsh acceleration to harsh braking exercise. So when I say go, you're going to accelerate all the way up to full speed. I'll let you know when to brake, and when I say brake, just all the way down to a complete stop. Just use the first one to get used to how it all feels. We'll then come back round and do it again, and we can tweak anything that can be improved for the second one. So just nice and sort of easy on the first one, get used to it all, and then we can begin to think about our acceleration and braking after that one.
You got a busy day today?
I think it's quite busy, not too bad. The summer holidays has been, yeah, it's been intense, so we're sort of winding down from that, which is quite nice. Yeah, it's always busy. You sort of forget how bad it is, and then it comes to it and you're like, yeah, this is busy. I don't do anything with the under 17s, but that's what gets really busy, but then it has like a knock on with us as well, because obviously people book in for their kids and then they think, oh well, I'll do a drive as well. Yeah, exactly, which I get, but it can be a bit manic sometimes. Do you still kart now?
No, I stopped 7 years ago.
Oh, okay.
to
Yeah,
race
yeah,
it.
yeah. Where did you do that mainly?
Blackbush, Rizzy,
Oh.
Kemmington.
Oh, they want us to go first. Okay,
Okay,
let's go
let's
for
go.
it. Lovely. Keep it going, 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 and brake. Excellent. Yeah, very, very nice.
Yeah,
All the way
that
around
was,
at the end.
That was rapid.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty impressive. Perfect. So initially we'll think about our acceleration and then we'll move on to our braking. So we're going to go back down to the blue cones, left there again and back into lane 1. So did you notice anything when we initially accelerated?
Well, we did get hit wheel spin, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. It was quite minor, but there was definitely a sense of a little bit of wheel spin. Now these cars are prone to that being rear wheel drive. And obviously when we're accelerating hard, all of the weight gets sent over the back of the car, which really emphasises that. So we're just going to think about getting a slightly more sort of efficient and effective start. The issue is when we get that wheel spin, our traction control cuts in, and then we end up with these almost sort of dead spots in the accelerator, and it can feel a little bit disjointed. So if we're thinking about our throttle trail, with this it's always about thinking about it being a fairly sort of gentle curve rather than a spike. That's when you tend to get that sort of wheel spin on the back. So just about being nice and smooth just initially to allow the car to find the traction that it needs before you then bring it up to full power. So that's what we'll focus on this time. We'll get off the line. Ideally no wheel spin at all, but as little as possible basically.
No, perfect. No, it's definitely a bit of a beast.
It is, yeah, it is. Yeah, I spent a bit of time at those places. I started in karting as well, so my background is also racing.
Yep.
Yeah, so Rizzy, all those places.
Rizzy,
Yeah.
Kemmy.
Yeah.
Shannonton.
Yeah. Yeah, great tracks. Wilson Mill, all those places.
Yeah. Yeah, predominantly I was a Blackbush boy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Family.
That's where I started way back when I was. Well, we used to take my Bambino there when I was about 5.
Bambinos, yeah.
And then I took my ARCS test there when I was 8. So yeah, lovely. When you're ready, let's go for it. One more of those. Yeah, much better. All the way up now to full speed. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, and brake. Yeah, much better. Did that feel better off the line?
Yeah, that was
perfect.
much better.
Excellent. And we're going to go all the way around at the end here. I haven't been to Blackbush for years because I've heard it's all been extended.
It has been extended, ruined it.
Oh, okay.
Ruined.
So does it come out into the paddock?
Into the pit.
Yeah.
And it's just, eaten most of the pits up. It's, I don't know, I'm old school, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's no good for a gearbox. It's good for the cadets and the hundreds, but ruined it for the gearbox.
Yeah, what a funny little track that is. It's a shame they've changed it at all because it had so much
hard.
character.
It was, if you could drive backwards, you could drive anywhere.
Yeah. So we'll go back into lane 1 one last time, so we'll pull up behind the GT. This time we're just going to switch our attention from the acceleration to the braking.
So who did you do your ARCs with?
Oh my god, I can't remember. When I was there, Ted was there.
Yeah, good old Ted Taylor.
God, I can't remember any of the officials that were there. We also used to go to Forest Edge quite a lot when I was younger. My dad also used to race, so when I was really little he used to race. He used to do 125s and 250s.
I did 250s.
Okay, and so then we sort of race at the same time. Then I started to get better, so he gave up so that I could.
That's what happens.
Yeah. I ruined it for him. So this time we're going to focus on our braking, and we're going to be using a technique called threshold braking, which is just simply braking without feeling any ABS. So this time I want us to come all the way down to stationary, and I want you to stop the car as quickly as possible, but without feeling that sort of pulsation of ABS underneath your foot. So as short a stopping distance as you can do, but no ABS is literally it. So when you're ready, up to full speed again, straight down, and then nice threshold braking down to a stop. Lovely, all the way up to full speed. Keep it going, keep it going. That's it, keep keep it going, and brake. Yeah, perfect. All the way through the gap at the end again. The reason for doing these sort of drills, the acceleration and the braking, is they are going to be techniques that we're going to translate straight onto the track later on. So whether it's keeping the car nice and balanced through the corner, or nice firm braking point at the end of the straight, these are all techniques that are going to be applicable to that. So we're going to go into lane 3 this time. We're going to finish off with a bit of a slalom in the dynamic area before we move on again. So over into the far lane on the right hand side.
Right.
So still pointing this way, but just over on the lane that's closest to the road. Oh, how funny.
Yeah, it's a small world.
Yeah,
isn't
it is, yeah. I really miss it, actually. I did a lot of karting. I raced sort of those sort of smaller tracks, club racing, and then I did Super 1 and Stars, and then I raced abroad karting for about 6 or 7 years as well.
Yep.
But I really miss all of that. Like a couple of the other people that work here as driving specialists also obviously had the same background, and we always talk about like, oh, how fun it was when you're in cadets and you're like running around the pit paddock. And
yeah, exactly. It wasn't just the karting, it was
it's the whole social that goes with it. Yeah, best sort of childhood upbringing ever that I could ever wish for. It was amazing. So we're going to do a bit of a slalom now. So we're going to be weaving in and out of the yellow discs that are running along the dash line to the left of us. So as we pull away, we're going to go immediately into lane 2, so the middle lane. You're going to go past the first yellow disc on your right, and then begin our weaving all the way down. So take the first one relatively gently, get a feel for the spacing of the discs. We'll then do it one more time, increasing the pace slightly to sort of make it a bit more of a challenge. So with this one, nice and relaxed, shoulders back against the chair, getting into a good rhythm all the way down. Nice smooth steering, not yanking at the wheel. But yeah, head down when you're ready and see how we get on with the first one when the pace is nice and gentle. Perfect. Yeah, lovely. Really, really nice. And then staying to the right of the 2 orange cones and then carrying on here. There's a couple more. Perfect. Yeah, very nice. Excellent. Yeah, lovely. In terms of how the car feels with response to your steering inputs, are you quite happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. So we'll just do it one more time briefly. So we're going to increase the pace a little bit. It doesn't need to be taken ridiculously fast, but it's just about making it a bit more of a challenge for the car in terms of that sort of weight transfer that we're going to feel. But it's really important that as we're trying to increase the pace, we still maintain really good technique. There's always a tendency when people are trying to make things faster that the technique goes out the window, and we obviously don't want that. So nice and smooth with the steering wheel, still maintaining that lovely smooth steering, getting into a good rhythm, and keeping the car nice and balanced all the way down, making sure we're going round all of our discs. So as soon as they've gone beyond the barriers at the far end there, we'll just do one more of those. Perfect. When you're ready, let's head down. Perfect. Yeah, really, really nice. That's it. Same with the cones here. Good. Yeah, lovely. Really nice. Yeah, excellent. And in terms of that weight transfer, does the car feel quite nice and stable underneath you? You're quite happy with that? Perfect. Perfect. Lovely. So what we'll do is we'll go and do a couple of things on the wet straight, and then we'll go on to the wet circle, and then if we get interrupted with that because it's 2 cars at once, we can go onto the track and then we can go back to the wet circle after.
Perfect.
So we'll go between the 2 blue cones again, but this time we're going to go round to the right, and we're just going to do a couple of sort of fairly straightforward braking exercises to begin with. So we'll pull up behind that car that's facing away from us this time. They're lost. go down and have a look at that bush then, be like a veteran.
Yeah, no.
It's still going, isn't it?
It's still going,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think the numbers are as good as they used to be.
No.
But then I think that's the whole of karting, I think, is being a bit affected.
I mean, yeah, it's colossally expensive, isn't it?
It is just, yeah.
Because my dad always used to say to people when, obviously, you get people coming along and they'd say, "Oh, have you got any advice for starting out?" Because we've been doing it for such a long time. And he was like, "Just don't do it. Just don't bother.
Unless you've got money
find
for it.
another sport." Because it's so addictive as well. That's
Well,
the problem, isn't it?
That's the thing. I mean, there was a programme a couple of years ago about cadet racing, and the dads were spending like 125,000
Yeah.
a year. And
When
you
I
go
was
like,
racing in Europe, obviously at a really high level there, and people are spending like £500,000 on a season of karting. And it's like, that's like touring car budget,
yeah, no,
nearly. It's like,
beyond.
that's crazy.
No, I can remember back in the 90s. I mean, oh God, I can't remember who it was. They owned Buckmore Park, and they were spending £5 grand a race weekend.
Mad, crazy, yeah. And that's only in the UK, isn't it? Yeah. Lovely. So we're just going to do a couple of straightforward things to begin with. So first up is an ABS brake. So we're going to go up to 30 miles an hour. Between our two sprinklers, I'm going to let you know when to brake, and just brake as hard as you can on this first one, as though you're doing an emergency stop. Where the sprinklers are, we've got a rectangle of tarmac that is covered in this silicone coating. That is the same lane as what is on the middle lane of the wet circle.
Yep.
So we'll just start off here. It will give us a chance to get used to the surface, and then we'll move on to our skid control and drifting and those sorts of things over there. Alright, so up to 30, straight down, really hard braking when I say. Alright. That's it, lovely. So up to about 30. That's it, speed is great, keep it where it is, keep it going, and brake. Perfect. Horrible sensation.
Yeah, I felt absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it does. And when, you know, on a surface like that, it has to work so hard to bring you to a stop, so you can even hear it.
Yeah.
We're just going to take a right at the blue barrier and head back up that road. Whereas normally you almost just feel it underneath your foot, that resistance from the brake.
Yeah, almost felt like the brake pedal was broken.
Yeah, it does, it's horrible. But with that you can even hear it sort of working really hard. Now of course that is the brakes engaging and releasing constantly, and the idea of that is to allow you to remain in control under braking. So we're just going to put that to the test this time, so we're going to go up to 30 again, nice hard braking when I say, and just very simply adding in a little bit of steering when you're braking. So all we're wanting to see here is when you brake and that ABS comes in, does the car respond to your steering input? So just nice big slow sort of weave, and we're just going to see how the car responds, or if it responds. Did you do it when you were a kid as well, or was it something you picked up a bit later?
I started when I was, I suppose 14.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, my dad did it when he was a kid, and then obviously stopped, and then picked it up again when he was a bit older.
Yeah, when you get that bit of disposable income.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly what happened, and then I came along and was like, I'm going to take all of that.
Yeah, my turn, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it was a bloody good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that your partner that's with you?
Yeah, that's the wife and the doggy.
Ah. Is your wife into it? Is she keen?
She loves motor racing.
Oh, good. That's nice. That's always nice when you've got somebody who can enjoy it with you. Yeah. Yeah, my mum was very much into it.
Yeah, no, well, it is a family thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that kind of has to be when you're spending so much money on it.
Yeah. No, it's great fun. So yeah, they'll be going Thursday while there.
So when did you stop karting?
I stopped karting when I was about 17, and then I was part of the Porsche Carrera Cup scholarship program. So then I did a bit of that basically, and then I stopped that a few years ago as well. Just so expensive. I had sponsors, but obviously, you know, every time you take a step up, it just goes from being
more
like
money.
300,000 to 500,000 and $750,000 and then $1 million, and it's like, where are we going to find all this money from?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, like that's a house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And because I'd done it, well, I've been at racetracks literally from the day I was born, because my dad was racing then. So it's almost a point of, actually it'd be quite nice to have a bit of a normal life. Although having said that, now having had a normal life for about 2 or 3 years, I'm like, this is boring. What does everybody do?
Yep. No.
Lovely. When you're ready, let's head down. So up to 30, straight down, nice hard braking and a bit of steering.
So we're going to slam it on again?
Yeah, exactly, same as before. And then just adding that steering in. Brake now, nice and hard, and steer. Perfect. Yeah. Lovely. Quite happy with how that was responding?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. We're just going to go round and do one last exercise here, and then we'll move on to the wet circle. So taking a right at the blue barrier, and we are essentially going to do a threshold braking exercise on there. So I'm going to challenge you to bring us to a complete stop on that surface with no ABS coming in at all.
Okay.
So it's going to be a bit of a challenge, more of a challenge than when we did it on our dry tarmac initially. So with this one, it's all about being pretty sensitive with the brake initially, and then sort of softly increasing that brake pressure down to a stop. You won't get away with being remotely sort of aggressive with the brake. That ABS comes in otherwise, and it's quite hard to then bring it back from that. So that is what we'll do to finish up on the wet straight. What do you do now? What do you do for work?
I'm a builder.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I love it. Best job for me in the world.
Oh, good. That's nice. Nice and active.
So do you get any good company perks?
I mean, we do get discount on the cars and stuff, but I mean, the thing is, obviously being in these all day, if I was then going to have a Merc, I'd want it to be an AMG. I wouldn't want it to be like a bog standard one. So then obviously the discount isn't quite enough to make that. I also think I wouldn't probably have my license very long if I had one of these, because the temptation to...
No, they're a bit too quick, aren't they?
They are, yeah. Yeah, the quicker the car, the more temptation it is to misbehave, so I don't think I need that encouragement from the car. I've got a John Cooper Works Mini, and that's enough of a of a temptation. Perfect. So yeah, we're going to do our threshold braking, so approaching it at the same speed, so 30. When I say brake, trying to bring us down to a complete stop with no ABS or as little as possible. When you're ready.
Right.
And brake. Nice, a little bit. There was a bit at the start, and then there was none, and then a tiny bit at the end. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. It is particularly tricky because, again, of the surface. If you were just doing that on dry tarmac, it's very, very straightforward.
You feel it.
Yeah. Perfect. Let's head over. So we're going to go straight over here, and then we're just going to pause by that line on the floor.
Yep.
Just over to the left. So it's just 2 cars at once. So we'll head on in a moment. We'll do as long as we can, and then we can always go onto the track and then come back to it later on. I can keep an eye on how busy the wet circle is from the main track. So this is obviously the wet circle, and the lane that both of these cars are on currently is that slippery lane that we mentioned earlier on. So that is obviously where we're going to do our work. We're going to do a little bit of a comparison between having the car with all of the safety systems are on as the car is now, and then turning our ESP or electronic stability program off and having a look at the difference between the two. So to do that, we'll go around nice and slowly like these guys are doing, and then I'll ask you to give the accelerator a blip. And all I mean by that is just one sort of short sharp stab of the accelerator. The idea of that is to provoke a bit of movement on the back end of the car, see how it responds once, and then we're going to turn that ESP off and look at the difference, and then we'll move on to a bit of skid control and some drifting, which is great fun. I agree with whoever told you to do this. This is the best bit. It's great.
Oh, we managed it in the one lap of it in the 43
Yeah,
last time.
it's not as good in the 43, definitely not.
No, that's what mate said. He said you got to go out on the other one. And the GT wasn't working very well.
Okay.
You were putting your foot on the throttle and it was taking about half a second for it to respond.
Okay, that's not good.
No.
Perfect. Let's head on when you're ready. They've come off, so we're good to go on. And we're going to go straight onto our slippery lane. We'll go past that cone that is right in the middle of the lane, and then once we've gone past that, if you pop us into the centre of the lane and keep the speed about where it is now, that is pretty much spot on. So all the safety systems are on, as I said, so when you're ready, just one short and sharp stab of the accelerator and just see how it feels at this point. How's that?
Yep, no.
Quite
Good.
sort of tame at this
Yep.
point? Yeah, lovely. I'm going to turn that ESP off. That is off now for you, so same thing again. At this point, just seeing if it feels any different. Yeah? Bit more movement perhaps?
Yep.
Yeah, lovely. So initially, we're just going to think about how we're going to correct that sort of initial skid with the steering, which you went to do immediately as a bit of sort of a knee-jerk reaction. So that's all we want to do to begin with, get that feeling really comfortable. So once you've gone beyond that blue cone that's precariously positioned, I think it's masking a crack or something.
Right.
But it's ready to get sent into next week. So once we're past this, just a few times repeating a blip and then a bit of correction with the steering, get that feeling really comfortable and natural, and then we'll move on to a bit of drifting afterwards. So blip, respond, and just repeat that a few times initially. Yeah, excellent. Lovely, that's it. Good. And you'll begin to get used to sort of how much steering you give it, and when the back end begins to break away from you a little bit more, having to keep opening that steering up to control it. Yeah, very nice. Perfect. Yeah, that's really nice. Lovely, that's it. Yeah, really nice. So you'll begin to get a feel for it, and you'll start to sense that it's all done with your accelerator. That is, you know, that's entirely what dictates where the back end of the car is positioned. Yeah, nice. You picked that up really nicely, yeah. Just spinning the seats off there for a second.
Yep.
If we let them get a little bit further around, then if they do have any spins or any moments, we don't have to keep waiting for them. How's that?
That was good.
Yeah, you
that was
picked
really
that up really
good.
nicely. It's much better than the 43, isn't
that
it?
was so easy.
Yeah. Because
That
you've got so much power, it's rear wheel drive, so it's just, you know, to get it into a drift is easy. It's then about keeping it there.
Yep.
Lovely, yeah, they're on the other side now, so we're all good. So yeah, bring it up to a walking pace and use your sort of short, sharp stab to get the back end out, and then take it from there. Yeah, beautiful. That's it. Lovely. It's almost sort of a light feathering of the accelerator just to keep it there. Yeah, perfect. Spot on. That's it. Lovely. Good. Yeah, bring the speed down a touch, yeah. You'll find that if you sort of start off carrying loads of speed, you've got so much momentum behind you that it's a bit more of a handful. Also make sure you stay away from the white lines. Either side of those is normal tarmac. So
Yep.
if you begin to catch your right hand wheel on the inside there, it will spin you round. Yeah, perfect. Really nice. Good. If someone's not out of the way. That's it. Good. That's it. Yeah, you've got it. And actually, once you've got the car in the position that we want it in, it's pretty low maintenance to keep it there. Perfect. Yeah, lovely. They've stopped there for me. I think they're going to reposition that.
Well, shall we go off and do some circuit?
Yeah, let's do that
I'm
now.
well happy.
Yeah, we can always come back to this anyway and have another go before we finish up. So yeah, we'll go and do a stint on the circuit and we can come back. It's straight up there, and then we're going to take a left out the road. That was great.
No, that was
It's
brilliant.
great fun, isn't it?
That was-
When you just get it there in that sweet spot, it's so satisfying. So we're going to be taking a left just just before the next car shelter. So if you pull round and pause for me, we'll make sure we've got a nice gap on the track before we actually head on.
No, that was definitely so much easier.
Yeah. I mean, it's really sort of against everything that a 43 is designed for. You're trying to get it to drift and the whole car's going, what on earth are you doing? We'll pause for a second.
Yep.
We'll let those two come round, and then it looks like a nice gap after that. And with this one, you might remember we can ask people to let us pass, so we don't need to worry about getting caught behind anyone. Perfect. Start heading on when you're ready, round to the left. Begin following it round. Take your first lap or two relatively gently. Get a feel for the layout of the track. I won't say much to begin with. I'll let you get a couple of laps under your belt, and then we'll begin piecing it all together. And we can sort of break down each corner. as well. The sound of that V8 is just music. That's it, lovely, good. That's it. Going fast. Perfect. So really hugging your apex point as the corner opens up. You can squeeze in some acceleration, look down for your braking mark, or wait for your turning, cut back for an apex point. Lovely. Good. Now nice and smooth all the way around here. Keep the car nice and balanced. That's it. Nice smooth braking all the way into the corner. Good. Nice and smooth on the steering here. Gradually tighten that lock up. Good. Yeah, you've got it. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't do your job and sit next to people driving mad.
Used to it really. I used to find it more difficult at the start. I'd come home and be like, "Ugh." But yeah, I think you sort of just get used to it. I can ask them to let us past if we get close. Yeah, you do get such a, you literally get, well, everybody, you get sort of every end of the spectrum and then everyone in between, so it's just, yeah.
People driving Miss Daisy and then
Yeah.
eating out nutters.
Yeah. It's unusual, to be honest, that you get people, well, we obviously do get them, but you get people, it's more common, should I say, that you get people who are a bit nervous.
Yeah.
And you spend the whole time trying to get them to relax and just enjoy it, rather than, you drive every single day, so you do know how to drive. It's just a different technique, really. That's more common, but you do obviously get the odd person who thinks they're absolutely Lewis Hamilton. Challenging one because it's such a long corner. You've got to be quite patient with the accelerator. That's it. Good. What do you think of the car then?
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can't help but it puts a smile on your face, doesn't it?
I have to say, when I saw it was an estate, I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it is.
It's actually a good one to have. This is one of the newest cars on the fleet as well, so she's a little bit fresher than some of the other ones.
Right.
And actually for drifting, I think it's a bit more, I think it's a bit better actually, because you've got a bit more sort of weight over the back end, so it's, yeah. I love it because you look at it from the outside and you think, oh, it's an estate car, and then you get in and you're like, it's a weapon, an absolute weapon. Yeah, lovely. And just one of these, it's all about being nice and sort of sensitive with that accelerator. The only time you'll get into a bit of a pickle with it is if you're sort of really aggressive with that accelerator and then the back end wants to sort of snap out on you, but otherwise it's just wonderful to drive. like a bird. They
Yeah.
always land in the track. You think all the places. Yeah, lovely. More fun on the track than the C43, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. It just feels so much more alive.
Yeah, it does. It really, really does. It's got so much character. Yeah, lovely. I would love one of these in the road, but can you imagine?
Yeah, no, you'd be in trouble with it.
You would, yeah. Because people would totally underestimate you as well, the lights and stuff, and you'd be like, you just wait. Yeah, lovely. It's entirely up to you. We can stay out here, or we can do it a little bit more and then go to the wet circle. We've got about 10 minutes, so
We're going to do some
it's up
wet
to
circle.
you. Yeah, perfect. Let's it looks pretty clear as well, so we'll finish off this lap. Yeah, lovely. So we'll just follow it around to our glass shelter where we came on,
Yeah.
and then we'll just come off there and take a right to head down to the wet circle again. That was lovely, really nice. Just so much fun to drive. Just love it.
Do you get to drive these much?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Good.
There's a fair amount of driving involved in the job as well. So we warm the cars up in the morning, which is fun. We do quite a lot of passenger rides. So yeah, there's a fair bit of driving in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
No, this is, I think, the best car I've driven in.
Yeah. Perfect, yeah. So we'll just pull up where that A-class is. They're going to head straight on. Anyone else out there, but there won't be a moment anyway, even if there is. Perfect. So that black C-class will come off in a moment. Oh, they're coming off now. Perfect. So as soon as we're on there, I'll just turn that ESP straight off, and then we can just carry on from where we left off. We can also have a play around with our traction control dial. That will change in a minute, and we can wind that all the way off, and again that will be a little bit different. So start heading on when you're ready.
Around the blue cone again.
Yeah, and they put it back where it's meant to be. So ESP is now off, so perfect. When you're ready, straight into it, and then I'll give you about a minute to get back into it, and then we can go in with the traction control. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, perfect. Straight back into it. Lovely. An extra challenge having to go round the cone.
That makes it a bit more fun.
Yeah, which is fine when you've got somebody who can do it, but when you've got somebody who can't, you're like, can you just wait until we get past the cone? So if you on that traction control dial,
Oh, right, yeah,
just
yeah.
all the way to the left, so the numbers will go
Oh.
up the other way, and then it will go off. It should
Off.
say off. That's it. So obviously ESP is a safety system, whereas traction control is more of performance enhancing. It won't mean, it won't make a difference to how it actually feels. You'll find that you have to be a little bit more cautious with the revs, because the traction control does sort of help you with that. Often when people have got it really comfortably, they prefer it without that. So you might feel the same, which actually I think immediately that is even better. Yeah. Yeah, even better. Because the traction control in some ways helps, but when you're really comfortable with it, it can actually be a bit of a hindrance. So yeah, to me that feels better straight away without
Yep.
it. Yeah, perfect. When you get that bit of vibration, that's a hint that you're right on that sort of knife edge, which is a great place to be. That's it. Perfect. Yeah, you've got it. Yeah, beautiful. That's it. Perfect. Lovely. Go around all day.
We're there.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, you've got it. Beautifully. That's it. Perfect. Yeah, that's it. Excellent. That's it. Yeah.
Can we stop?
Yeah, let's let them have a little
Yeah,
bit more
that is
space.
brilliant.
It's great, isn't it? It really is. Because it's a bit of a challenge as well. So yeah, I think it's great. Obviously, for lots of people, it's more about just a bit of correction with the steering, getting that comfortable. But yeah, when you've got somebody who gets it and a bit of drifting, it's great fun. It's a challenge, but it's fun. Yeah, go for it. They're all good down there. Perfect. Yeah, straight back into it. Beautiful. That's it. Yeah, you've got it.
No, go for the go.
Our first spin. There we go.
And the wife's got it on camera.
You styled that out, to be fair, though. It looked like it was on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, they've spun straight
Yeah.
away. What is he?
Oh.
He's off there. If you stand and watch for a moment, it can be quite entertaining. All the spins.
Yeah.
I think as well, if you don't know, then people just think it's just wet. And then I always say no, and they're like, oh, it's got something on it as
Yeah,
well,
it's
because
got
people are sort of like,
silicone
how is everyone spinning so much?
Come on.
Perfect. The revs.
Off. Come on, give me some traction.
Perfect, let's do one more lap round and then we can hop off at the end of the next one. Perfect, that's it, straight into it. There we go. go round in between the two blue cones and then up out the exit again. That's great.
Just letting you know that we're signing at your 11 o'clock.
Well, thank you very much.
No
I've
problem.
achieved what I wanted.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm going to take a
Yeah.
right there. We'll go straight over between the red and white barriers on the other side of the roundabout. Well, I hope you enjoyed it all anyway.
No,
I'm assuming you did.
brilliant.
Good. And overall, the car? Loved it?
Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a beast of a car.
It is, yeah. No, it's great. Really, really is. Yeah, you're all clear to the left here, so round to the right when you're ready.
So do you know what you're doing next?
I think I might just have a half an hour and then a passenger ride at some point. If you follow it back through the middle here,
Yeah.
we'll do a loop at the end again like we did to start with, and we'll bring it and put it in one of these bays along that curb side.
Perfect.
Just round the back of this little group. If we put it in the front bay along this curb side, that'd be great, if that's
Yeah.
alright. Got loads of photos and videos. Perfect. Park is on the end of that stick. Just press the silver button in, and you can turn it off on the right hand side. There's a start stop button
Yep.
on the